Okay, so when we left off, Abby and Lane were in the coffee shop, and Abby had just overheard these people talking about tanks and SWAT people and stuff on 19th Street. So she ordered their hot chocolates to go, and she ran back upstairs. We have to go now. She started putting on her jacket and gathering her things. Lane just looked up at her. No, I haven't even had my hot chocolate yet, he sighed. No, we have to go now. Bring your hot chocolate with you, but we need to move. Abby was normally the level-headed one. She didn't buy into many of his conspiracy theories. Seeing her so insistent was not normal. Lane quickly put his tablet back into his backpack, put on his jacket, grabbed Munchkin's leash, picked up his hot chocolate, and then followed his sister down the stairs. Walking out the door, they were met by a blast of cold air. It was like stepping into the deep freeze. Even Munchkin cuddled up a little closer to their legs. What's this all about? Lane finally asked when they got a few steps away from Maud's. Abby quickly told him about the two old guys and the things she had overheard at the counter. See? Lane perked right up. I'm telling you, it's a government takeover. She tried to dismiss it as coincidence as she zipped up her jacket the rest of the way. There has to be a better explanation. There's not, he insisted, his eyebrows pulling toward each other. He glanced over his shoulder to make sure nobody was following them. Let's walk faster. Neither of them could drive very well. They were 17, but they'd been too busy last summer to take driver's ed. Their parents had bounced from conference to conference all over the world, and they'd been sent to their aunts in Maine for the summer, with Munchkin in tow, of course. They had convinced their parents not to send them to Maine this time. Their parents had agreed to let them stay, mostly because they had school. Before leaving for London, their parents had stocked up the house with groceries and given them each spending money so that they could order pizza if they want to. Maud's was a couple of miles from their house, but they didn't mind the walk, especially with the temperatures as cold as they were. Texas was experiencing one of their normal winter cold fronts. The highs had only been in the 40s, and the temperatures were sinking fast. It was supposed to drop into 20s that night, unusually cold for Galveston. Lane had insisted that the low temperatures would make it the perfect time for a takeover, since people would be more interested in just staying warm than resisting. We should walk past the Strand on the way home just to see what the lady was talking about. Lane's suggestion broke the silence. Normally, Abby would have objected. Checking out the Strand would take him a few blocks out of the way, but this time her curiosity got the best of her. She wanted to know if there really were military and SWAT people running around. Over her shoulder, she noticed a couple in their 50s walking a short distance behind them. Let's go a different way, she suggested. Lane nodded in agreement. Munchkin trotted happily along beside them, smoke billowing from his snout in the cold weather. They had continued along Post Office when they left Maud's coffee shop. They lived in an old wooden house on Church Street about 10 blocks away from Maud's, so less than 2 miles. They loved that end of town. So many cool things had happened there over the years. The pirate Jean Lafitte's house, or what was left of it anyway, was only a few blocks down the street from where they lived. As kids, they would often pretend to be pirates in Jean Lafitte's time, carrying wooden swords as they rode their bikes to his house. They often snuck in through a gap in the fence to explore the old ruins. Once, Lane had found a gold coin half buried in the grass beside one of the cement steps. His mom put the coin in a shadow box along with an old nautical chart of the area. It still hung in his room. They took a sharp turn to the left to head more directly to the Strand. After a short distance, they looked back to see the old couple turning right instead. The town was eerily quiet for a Friday night. Normally the crowds would have been starting to fill the bars and restaurants, but there was hardly anyone to be seen. With thoughts of Walmarts and government takeovers swimming in her head, everything seemed out of place at the moment. It was 7:30 in the evening on a Friday in January. Why weren't there more people out? Why weren't the restaurants bursting at the seams? Da da da! To be continued.